This week in news surrounding Israel, woe unto those who call evil good and good evil. That's the headline. Stay tuned for all the details. Well, shalom, everyone. Welcome once again to this week's newscast. I'm Robert Gottselig, your host. And in the Bible, Isaiah the prophet writes in chapter 5, verse 20, what I believe really describes the days in which we are living, especially when it comes to Israel. This is what we read. God says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." I believe that perfectly describes what we're seeing with all the haters of Israel out there. They accuse Israel of actions that they themselves commit. Such was the case last week with a Palestine solidarity group in Western Canada, in Regina, Saskatchewan in specific. And they booked the film theater at the downtown public library to bring in speaker Jeet Heer, who is a national affairs correspondent for The Nation, a progressive monthly news magazine. And here's the topic he was to speak on. Why are Canada and the U.S. backing Israel's genocide? Well, there you have it. Their cards are pretty much on the table, what the evening's going to look like. And I believe it's just another opportunity to bash Israel and the Jewish people. Well, when several Israel-loving people, myself included, wrote letters to the library administration and some contacting city councilors to express our deep concern regarding the event and its disseminating lies and propaganda against Israel and the Jewish people, which, by the way, is contrary to the principles of education and community building that the institution stands for. Well, when the Palestine Solidarity Group found out that there was opposition to their Israel bashing night, they immediately took to Facebook to share their displeasure by saying this. They said, supporters of the genocide, that's how they started it off, supporters of the genocide have been phoning city councilors to try to get this event canceled. In addition to tearing down posters we put up all around town. You know, it's okay in this world to tear down posters of all the hostages, just nothing that would suggest the other way around. They said that they can't tear down social media, though. Please spread the word and help pack the theater. We won't be silenced. And because of that response from them, especially when they said supporters of the genocide, the administration of the library canceled the event, and good for them. But only for a couple days, because the Palestine Solidarity Group instructed their followers to put immense pressure on the CEO and the board of the library to rethink their decision of canceling the event. And this is what they said. They said yesterday, Palestine Solidarity Group received notice from the Regina Public Library that they have canceled our room booking for Jeet Heer's lecture on June 25th on the grounds that it has the likely effect of promoting discrimination. No evidence or explanation was provided to support that allegation. The library has clearly bowed to the pressure from supporters of Israel to censor discussion about the genocide in Palestine. We need you to contact the RPL board and CEO today to let them know that the library should not be censoring free speech about the atrocities in Palestine. There is nothing discriminatory about discussing Israel's role in imperialism and the root cause of the genocide. They further went on to say this, that canceling this event in itself is discriminatory and anti-Palestinian, as it deprives a community under the most extreme forms of violence and duress the opportunity to build awareness of their suffering. Denying people the opportunity to discuss and learn about what is happening in Palestine contravenes the Canadian Federation of Library Associations statement on intellectual freedom. It is also a clear violation of the Saskatchewan Human Rights Code and our charter rights and freedoms under the Canadian Constitution. And adding to the pressure, Jeet Heer voiced his displeasure by writing in The Nation. He said, "I've just been canceled," making it an international story, in which, shamefully, Regina City Councillor Dan LeBlanc intervened and sponsored the event. So it's back on as scheduled for this week. You see, they use the freedoms we have in our country to spread disinformation on Israel and the Jewish people. And when challenged, they play the victim card, and they do it all too well. Look, you are going to hold a talk centered around Israel committing genocide when it's the furthest thing from the truth. The Palestinian population in Israel is about 1.8 million. That's a little over 20%. And in the so-called West Bank, another 3 million. And in the Gaza Strip, another 2 million. That's almost 7 million Palestinians, an 8-fold increase since 1948. Friends, that's not a genocide. And in Gaza, if you're going to be pointing to the 40,000 people that have been killed since October 8th and calling that a genocide, give your head a shake, because those are Hamas statistics, a terrorist organization as deemed by Canada, whose charter is the destruction of Israel. Why would we believe anything that comes out of a terrorist's mouth? And why in the world would we allow this kind of demonic propaganda to be spread in our community, which only fuels anti-Semitism? Anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, period. You want to know who is trying to commit genocide? It's the Palestinians, as they shout all day long in their mantra, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. That's from the Jordan to the Mediterranean. That means no Israel. That means death to the Jews. And so here they accuse Israel of that which they want to do themselves. And then they try to convince the world that it's Israel that is to blame, which in fact, they are the ones, the Palestinians are the ones in which the sole blame lies. And it's all due to their demonic hate for Israel and the Jewish people. Wake up, Canada. Because if we don't stand with Israel against those who wish them dead, Genesis 12:3 promises us that God will curse those who curse his chosen people. And that is not what I want to celebrate this coming Canada Day. No, I want to bless the Jewish people, to bring blessings to our country, Canada. So let's not be silent, friends. Let's get involved and take a stand in these evil days where evil is being presented as good and good as evil. But just don't sit back and say nothing. God is taking note, and we will all have to give an account one day. As for me, I'll be attending the event this week. I'm recording this on a Monday, so the event is tomorrow night. But I do plan on reporting back on the next newscast of what happened. And friends, and we're going to hear all the usual buzzwords. We're going to hear, I know, Israel apartheid. We're probably going to hear that Israel, they're colonialists. They're occupiers of stolen Palestinian land. And of course, they're committing genocide on the Palestinians, etc. I'm going to attend. And as I mentioned, I'll report back on the next newscast. Because Lord willing, if it's opened to a Q&A discussion afterward, you can bet that I'll be asking some pointed questions that I pray shares light on those that hate Zion. For God says in Psalm 129, verse 5, let all those who hate Zion be put to shame and turn back. And with that, and until next time, thanks for joining us on another episode of In News Surrounding Israel. God bless.